How are you doing this morning? So I decided to do this a little bit different. I did a video. I recorded a video. It ended up being about an hour long, and it was going to take something like 3 hours to render, and I didn't have time to wait for that. So because I got to be at work at like 11 o'clock, and that means I got to leave here at like 10. So instead, I thought, you know what? Let's just kind of go ahead and let's just do a live stream and show off the new content instead. So I want to try to repeat everything that I recorded and go for that. So how many of you out there that are watching right now, how many of you have already picked up the DLC and have taken a look at it? How many of you are stuck at work or something and not able to take a look at it right now? Anybody? Oop. Shouldn't be showing that off. That wasn't what I wanted to show. So I'm in Kings Falls this morning. Dr. Awesome's bought it. Coaster Tech's bought it. Ruben says not yet. Darth, how about you? Have you picked it up yet? Playing it now, says Tanner. Stuck at home, didn't buy it yet. Interesting. Look at all these pigeons. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started because I don't have a whole lot of time. I am in my Kings Falls park this morning. So you're in Spain, you have to wait a week. I get my salary at the end of the month, so I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. I did do a giveaway last night on my live stream, so I want to say congrats to both Guard Geek and Jamer Tamer on my Twitch live stream last night. They were the winners of that. I sent them out their copies earlier, so they should have them by now. I saw one of them accepted it. Alright, so the new DLC, I know Frontier's already done their live stream and everything. I was busy recording and editing and stuff while they were doing that, so I didn't get to watch that. I don't know any questions or anything that was asked in there. I don't know. So, but there was a couple of things that I was curious about, and that's kind of what I wanted to make my video about. The music and stuff. Is the music too loud, guys? You tell me. I'm going to turn it down in my ear so I don't have to hear it. Alright, so one of the first things that we get, and this is part of the free DLC, I also want to go over some of the patch notes and stuff too that they did as well. So when you're sorting through coasters and you choose steel coasters, there's now a spinning category. And they added the old spinning coasters. Manic Mouse and the Spiral spinning coaster have both been added to that section there. So if you guys are just looking for that section, you can totally do that. Alright, and so we're going to place this down. So a couple of things I've noticed right off the bat. I know in Geekism's video he said this has launching sections. It doesn't have launching sections. It does have drive tires. And how fast can we set those drive tires to? We set those drive tires to about 8 miles an hour. That's not exactly a launch, is it? So I don't know where he was getting the launch sections from because they just aren't here. You can, however, do this. You can choose the 2-rail track. So if you want to make like Sierra Sidewinder from Knott's Berry Farm, then you can totally do that. That is a possibility. Nash says, can you maybe try one thing? Can you put the Mac spinning on the Mac launch track? No, I did try that. You can't do it. But we will totally go over that again here in just a second. So let's do... I'm gonna ollie 43 and pew 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 this thing up. This is not gonna be a good coaster at all because I am in a hurry. So this is gonna be a pretty shitty coaster. However, the one thing that you can do, so there is no launch track on this, which sucks, but you can, however, twist the track any way you want. So that was a question that we've had on my Discord and on my streaming stuff, is like, I wonder if you can do inversions with this track. So you can actually do inversions with it, which is kind of cool. So Death Coaster 5000 is what we're going to call this, because I will probably kill some people with this. Yeah. All right. So I'm probably not even going to finish the track. I'm just checking to see here. Like, I wanted to see if you could invert, and you most certainly can. So we can do an inversion, which is kind of cool. God, this is gonna be awful. This is gonna be so bad. It's so funny at the same time. Yep, and then you can, if you wanted to, you can switch off to the tri-rail track if you wanted to, the classic mat or mock, depending on how you pronounce it. And yeah, that is a possibility that you can do. Let's see. So drop tires. Oh, you know what? Let's check that actually. Can I do a lift heel that is curved? No, you can't do a curved lift heel, so that's out. Can't do that. So I'm just gonna, I want to auto-complete it. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah, that looks about like something Audi 43 would create. Alright, so, and then we put the track on here. And let's see. I did figure out that you can go at least 4 trains. So if I take this out right here, we add another station to it. So if I keep adding station, I don't know why it keeps doing that. There, because I'm doing that. I'm doing it wrong. You'd think I'd never played Planet Coaster before. Alright, so you can get at least 4 cars per train. You can do that. So that is something that you can do. And we should probably, like, I don't know, smooth that out a little bit. At least make the entry back into it somewhat good. That's horrible looking. No curved lift heel. No launch pieces, but it will definitely invert. Even though it has no real good support there, I guess those would keep you in. I was looking at the Time Traveler lap bars, and, you know, Time Traveler does inversions, and it could totally do that. But, you know, you do have the tri-rail track and the single rail track, so if you wanted to, you could totally do that. Codeplay fan, oh, hey, how are you doing this morning? So, all right, let's test it out here. Something, let's see, that else we want to do. So you can't put any other trains on this track. And I also wasn't able to find a way, I didn't see anything earlier that I could put this on the Vector track either, or the Copperhead track as well. So they did add this though. So with the LSM launches on Copperhead Strike as well as a couple of others, they did add the ability to have the hold pieces. So almost all of the coasters that have the launch pieces will totally be able to do a hold piece instead. So you can have it come out of the station, go to a hold, and then launch. And they added that to quite a few of them. Message retracted. Oh, you must have took your message away. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Don't know what it was he was trying to say there. But do you know if you can adjust the height of the other tower rides? No. I didn't try it, but I know that on the forums they did say that you wasn't able to do that. But I will totally go in there and test that out for you real quick just to make sure. So not the hyper jump. Let's check the sunflower thingy here. So no, it is not a thing. They did not go back and redo any of those. Only the Condors. So, and you had a question, is if we can put the vector track on there or not. Let's see, vector. Okay. So we'll test that. You're excited to use this pack? I'm excited to get it. I mean, it's I don't think it's as good as Magnificent Rides because there's a few rides in it and I'm like, I don't know about that. But yeah, so here, this is one of the things I was talking about, the hold. So previously we didn't have this, but there's an LSM holding section now that's in there. So you can put that in there and then put your launch. We're going to launch this sucker out of there like quick. And we're probably going to crash into another coaster here, but that's all right. It's fine. It's fine. That looks terrible, but okay, sure, why not? And let's do some corkscrews because we can. And then let's do what else can we do here? How about I don't know. No, I don't like that. How about a pretzel knot? Oh god, that's way too big. Oh, these are all awful. These are awful choices. These are so bad. Let's make that smaller. Or, no, not larger, smaller. Yeah, you know what? Sure, why not? And then I'm not even going to end it. I'm just going to leave it there because this is all I wanted to show you guys. So if we take a look at the cars themselves and what we can switch onto this track, if we go into customization, you still cannot put anything on the vector track. So that is not an option. And I think this is the only track that has the launches like this. So you can't make Time Traveler, but you can do Sierra Sidewinder. That is a thing. You can even do Whirlwind, however you got that. I'm glad they added an Infinity Coaster so that we can do remakes of the Smiler. It is, but it's not exactly got the same restraints. But then again, you know, it's a coaster game, so we'll have to, you know, go with what we have. So if you guys have any questions that you want asked, please put them in there, and I will go over it, and we will see what we can do with it. So let's look at the Infinity Coaster, actually. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. That is going to be the next one. So I had some questions on this one too that we'll check here first. So you have two kinds of lift towers. You have this one here, which I'm just going to top it off here, which has the 90-degree drop like that. And you can do the two rail track on this one as well as the tri-rail. So you can do either one that you want to do with that. And you can adjust the size of the towers if you wanted to, but you have to have the entrance and you have to have the top piece on that. So it has this one here, and then I'm actually going to place another one down so I can compare both of these down for you. So okay, so we'll put this one over here too. And then we'll do the other one. So this is the other kind of lift hill that you can do. A little bit like hang time. That is something that you can do here. So and one thing I noticed on this, and something I kind of like, is it has these little elevators here, so that if the track or the train was to get stuck on the track going up the lift hill or something, then it has the safety elevator to get people down with. Also, that can take, I guess, if they want to inspect the top of the track or something, they can get over. They have water brakes on the dive coaster, but you can't use them, I don't think, on the dive. Water brakes. It is slightly themed though. Like, it's got these gears and stuff, which look very much like kind of Smiler themed, I guess. I've never been on Smiler, so I don't know. But it is kind of slightly themed, but not really. So it's fine. This is sort of generic. Joe found out that some rides you can change the color lights. Yeah, so they added headlights and stuff to a lot of the different ones, and you can do that. Can you do a vertical lift without an instant drop? No, I don't think you can, because you have to have the pieces under, but I can try it real quick. No, okay, so once you start doing that, you only have the option for the top pieces, and that's it. So those are your two lift hills there, and everything else is about the same on this. I did want to show you this. This is kind of cool. So with these, if you go into customizing, you can change the track or the cars out on these. And I find it interesting that we have Goat Fever as an option. So you can totally do Goat Fever, but you can't do Canyon Runner, which sucks because I really want to do a launched mine train car, and I can't do that, and that upsets me to no end. But some of the other ones, the Bar Guest, you can put that one on there. That's a given though. The Enigma. Can you change the color on the Gondola lift pods? I believe you can. Should be an easy enough thing to do. Let's see. We got the Interceptor and the Jizzer, as I call it. The Looney Turns. The Looney Turns still clashes with the station, though. It's got the fins that kind of go into the station, so not the best one to use. When JLW made Dynamine for Silverwood, this is the one that we decided to go with. We may end up going back and maybe switching out to cars. We're talking about it. Don't really know yet what we're going to do with that. So Looney Turns, the Infinite, that's the one that comes with it. You can put the Rage on there. You can put the Sprint on there. That's going to look really weird, and I kind of want to see that work. I want to see this. That's kind of odd and interesting, isn't it? How about that? That's totally going to crash, though. Let's see. What other ones can we put on there? So the Sprint, the Tiamat, the F-25. You can put the F-25 on there. The Werewolf and the Zenith. Put the Zenith on there if you wanted to. So those are all the different cars that you can kind of change on those. Let's see. So the Interdimensional, Copperhead Strike, which is basically this. It just has different cars. And where? Oh, there you are. And when I was looking at this earlier, I didn't see it. It has it. It looks like it has it, but I don't see it anywhere. So it looks like it has the ability for that the front lead car right there, the hood of the car can turn just like how Copperhead Strike is. However, I don't see it when I'm actually watching it go through loops and stuff. I don't see it turning. I see the cars and stuff turn, so I think it's a solid piece, which is fine. At least it looks good. And I don't believe you can put this on any other track. Also, the other thing with this is you cannot change the color of the cars. You are stuck with black. They finally added JoJo Rose to a ride, but only Copperhead Strike. You can make your own. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go with pre-made pieces. I mean, I think I've always been able to make a JoJo Row. So, did they actually add it in here, though? I mean, you got Heartline Rows. Yeah, they don't have anything actually called JoJo Row. But, I mean, you got all of the different rows. Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? Huh. Okay. There's the catwalk option for the right and left on both. Is there? Does this not have a lift heel? This does not have a regular lift heel. Walkway on both sides. Oh, okay. And right, left. What about did they add that to any other coaster, or is it just that one? Let's go take a look over here at Vector. Edit track. Optional catwalk. No, it's only Copperhead Strike, looks like. It is Copperhead Strike exclusive. However, that is something that they could add later on. If they wanted to go back and actually change that, they could totally do that. So, Flair says he has to go. Have a good one. All right. Thank you, Flair. Appreciate you tuning in for this. This will be on YouTube later, so you guys can watch it later on if you want to. So, do you guys have any other questions about Copperhead Strike other than... I mean, it is what it is. You can't put any other trains on it. Well, I didn't actually try that. I know you can't put Copperhead Strike on any other things, but I do believe, yeah, there's no other option for that. Much like Vector, it is stuck with the train, so that is what it is. But does Vector have a lift heel? Let's find that out, because I don't know. I haven't messed around with this. I just know I did a launched coaster with this, and that's about it. And yeah, it does. All right, so yeah, you could do that, but you can't do it on this one. I'll put my coaster back the way I had it. So how come you can't do that with this one? That's odd. So they didn't give a lift hill, a normal lift here to Copperhead Strike. So if you want to do something other than just have it launch and have something else with these cars, you can't do that. Huh. But going back over here to this one, since I have this one kind of done, I will show you what I mean by the hold. So you have it, and you'll see it will head out onto the track. And then it will launch, which is really cool. I kind of like that idea. As far as I know, they've added that to every coaster that has a launch. They added that piece to, or every coaster has an LSM launch anyway. So Interceptor, Jizzer, all of those, they do have those. Hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing, man? All right, so that's the coasters. Let's see. Copperhead Strike, the Infinite Coaster, and Interdimensional. Those are those three. Let's move on down here to, let's see. We'll do the track rides next because you guys had questions on those, and we will do the gondolas. So we'll totally take a look at those. Put that piece in there. They did do some fixes to these as well, to the ski lifts and all of those. I'm just going to do this as quick as I possibly can. And scene. Alright, that's fine. So that is that. Status ride closed. Why is it closed? Oh, because I forgot to put the piece on it. Okay, not a problem. Blink. Alright, now it's fine. And there we go. So, can you change the colors of the cars? Yes, you can. Gondola colors, you can totally change those up. You can have them blue, you know, bright blue if you want that. You can have them be, I don't know, black if you wanted. Pink. You want pink? I think you guys want some pink ones, right? Real men use pink. Yeah. Alright, so that's doable. These are kind of neat. I was looking at these in detail, and I really actually kind of like how the doors and stuff close on these. It's very interesting how they did that. They fixed a lot of issues with the chairlifts in the patch notes, I noticed, such as the chairs being at wrong angles. Testing doesn't remove test dummy, or when you're open the ride, it removes the test dummies now instead of having test dummies on your ride while it's open. So they fixed that. I think they fixed some other things with some wheels and stuff too. So they did a few adjustments to it. I mean, this is a neat ride. It's not, I feel like it's not exactly what people wanted though. Like, when people were asking for the gondolas, I think most people were talking about the Von Rose, and we ended up getting these. And these are fine for a more modern day kind of approach, but I would much rather have the Von Rose. So I think if we get another DLC pack of rides, hopefully they give us the Von Rose. And I mean, they've got all the bugs worked out of this, so maybe the next rides pack could include maybe a few more rides. And one of those extras would just be like this, but with the Von Row buckets. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't take them much to do it. It'd also be nice if they went back and changed the chair lifts to use, like, I don't know, the seats on the Paratrooper. That would be kind of cool. So, yeah, you could totally paint these. You can't paint them individually, but you can choose what color you want all of them to be. I would think it would be kind of cool if we could, like, have 4 colors for each, you know, choose the cars. And you could have 4 different colors of cars. That would be a lot better. Thanks for going live and showing us this DLC. Not a problem, Darth. Like I said, my video was going to take 3 hours to render. I didn't have 3 hours to wait. So I figured, you know what? I'll just go live. I'll show it off. It gives me an opportunity to answer questions as well that people may have. And, you know, that way we can kind of test things together and answer anything regarding that. So that's that. Now, let's go take a look at the other one. Before we do that, though, let's see. Track rides. And where are you? There you are. Here's the sports car ride. And the sports car ride, you have 2 different kinds of track. There's no guide rail on this, like whatsoever. Not a single guide rail. You can choose this. I don't know who actually uses this, but you can choose that. Or you can choose to not have that. And it does have this, which is really weird. It has a stop and start track on it. And I don't know what that's there for, but I guess if you want to do like a scene or something, there is that. Zipper16 says hello. Hello to you too, Zipper. How you doing, man? I'm going to just kind of real quick just do a quick layout with this. And see if I can like show off kind of what this thing can do. This sounds like Arabian music. What's up with this Arabian music? Guillermo Perez, hello. Can you put it on one of the other track rides? You can actually, which I will totally get to in just a moment. You can do that. I want to autocomplete this because, yeah, sure, that's fine. That's completely reasonable. All right, and because this is a sports car, I want to go with a sporty red color. I want to go with red. Yeah, see, that's a sports car right there. Now, looking at this, if we go into the details about the gears and the operation modes and stuff, we can see that it does have a top speed of 30 miles per hour. So if you're, I don't know what that is in kilometers, but miles per hour, because I'm in the US, it is 30 miles per hour, is as fast as it can go, which is fairly fast. I tested the jalopies, and they go as fast as about 15 miles an hour. And I did say in my video when they talked about this one, and when I did the teaser on this one, I did say that, you know, I got a feeling it could probably hit somewhere around like 25 miles an hour would be the top speed. I wasn't thinking 30, but I mean, sure, 30's fine. Number of cars, you put multiples on there. This is something they fixed too. The cars no longer bump into each other on any of the track rides. They actually put a space back in there, so that kind of works. Can I do more than one lap? No, I can't do an operation of more than one lap, so I can't have it go through and do all that. But it looks really weird because it doesn't have that guide rail. And it's just like, how does it stay on the track again? I'm happy to get this though. So, question is can you put it on another track? You most certainly can. Also, this track here, if you wanted to, you could totally take this and you could put other cars onto this track as well. You can put the Luna Autos on there. By putting the Luna Autos on there though, it does, I guess it looks at the cars itself as far as the speed, because now I can only go up to 15 miles an hour. You're new to Planet Coaster. It's a really cool game. It is a really cool game. I'm getting close to 5,000 hours in this game, so I have been doing this for a while. Christy Shields, howdy. Hello, Christy. How are you? Thanks for joining us this morning. For anything that you missed, you can go back and watch the video later on. As soon as I'm done, it should upload it automatically. And yeah, so you can only get, you know, it depends. It takes a look at what car is on the track, and that's the speed. So the speed itself is attached to the actual car, not the track. So you can kind of get those out. So I already have a car track over here that I've been kind of working on. So you guys kind of get a teaser of this real quick. And since this one here is the straighter of the two, I'm going to use this one. And we're going to, so your question is, can you put the Classicas on a track, a different track? You can. So if you want the guardrail or the guide rail, I keep saying guardrail. If you want the guide rail, you can do that. Totally. That is a possibility. And you can like pump the speed up on these as well. So if I wanted to, I could make that 40 miles an or 30 miles an hour. But going around this track at 30 miles an hour is probably not good. So I'm going to put that at about 15 or so. And then I'm going to open this one. And I'm going to open this one. This way I can kind of compare the two different ones to you. You've got the DLC downloaded. Haven't opened Planko yet this morning. Awesome. I think at this point, a lot of people who are going to buy it have already bought it. But some people may be stuck at work. So... So if you wanted the guide rail, you could do this and just not worry about the other track. That's a good fix, I feel. So that's fine. I probably wouldn't go up to 30 miles an hour on this one, though. And something else that Darth said earlier, or Darth or Joe, can't remember which one of you guys said that. But yeah, that was in the patch notes as well. They did add lights to quite a few of the rides, including these here. So if we go to a nighttime, we have lights on these, and they added them to the old time jalopies as well. And those lights are colorable. You can change the lights on those as well. It is, I'm guessing it's this one. They added a 5th color. Interesting. So check this out. Usually 4 colors is the max, right? There's a 5th color now. I wonder if maybe on future flat rides and stuff they'll have an extra color. So if I wanted like green lights, I could do that. Make it spooky. Red lights, pink lights. Roxanne, you ain't gotta put on a red light. Alright, but yeah, that's doable. You can totally do that. Change the lights on those. Do the wheels turn on those cars? I believe they do, unless that's a bug. Let's go back to AM. I can't tell. Yeah, they are turning. Yeah, it took me a little bit to see it, but yes, they are turning. It's the way that the spokes and stuff are on it. You can't hardly see it, but they are definitely turning there. They're going a little fast. I'll have to slow it down. I could do that, actually. We can totally slow that down and see. Let's crank it down to a 7. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely turning. It's funny because when I was building this and trying to figure out how I wanted it to build this the first time, I was like, oh man, I really just wish we had those old, like the classic cars, because Kings Island had the jalopies and the turnpike cars, and I really wanted to be able to do like one of each, and now I can actually do that, and I'm very, very happy for that. So you guys gotta get a quick peek at some stuff for Kings Falls coming up. So R1 Lasix YT, hey, how are you? Heyo, heyo. Reminds me of Johnny Carson. That's great, Johnny. All right, so yeah, that's that. And let's see, that's the 2 class. Oh wait, we have one more track ride. I guess we can kind of jump into the Armada. So if you want to create that wet dark ride. That sounds bad, doesn't it? It's almost like a wet dream, but a dark... anyway, so if you wanted to create that wet, soaking wet dark ride of your dreams, or if you wanted to do like a Pirates of the Caribbean recreation, or maybe, what's the other one? Small World. You want to do It's a Small World? You can totally do that. That's doable. It is great for that. You can use the trigger effects. Now, you've got 2 options. You can bury it, or you can use it for... the trigger to turn it to night when you're on it. That's the best option if you're doing a dark ride. I prefer it. Yeah. Wet Dreams on Elm Street. Yeah, it's actually a movie. I've seen it. Not even joking. So a question that we had about this in my Discord, and we were trying to figure out when they announced this, is what we were kind of curious. Could you use this? And Mr. Holland just asked it as well. Can you use this to create a giant flume ride? The answer to that is no. Because, first of all, you've got this huge lift hill. You can't do the lift hill any better than that. That's it, right there. So you're going to have a really, really long lift hill. And there's no water in the lift hill. It's concrete. So there's that. And then it drops you back into the water. And I'm going to do this like 2 different ways here because I want to show this as well. And then I want to kind of bring it down like that. Actually, no, here, let's go back. Let's do the drop first. And then back to flat. And then I'm going to do the drop. That might be too much. Alright, so this is the steepest that it will go. You can't get it to go any steeper than that. So no, you can't use it for a giant flume. We'll have to stick to the water coaster, unfortunately. You say you're fine but a bit disappointed with the DLC, and you like it so far. I like it for some of the stuff. Yeah, I mean, for $11, sure, why not? I've already bought like 3 of these this morning. I bought mine, plus I gave away a couple copies of it, so I did do that. Now, here's the thing that Joe's kind of talking about this. The thing about this ride is, I'm going to get this lift hill to go up a little further. Wait, can we not? Ah, there we go. I'm going to make that like 10 miles an hour just because I can. And go. So, we can do different stuff like this, but we can't make the giant flume. And one of the other things that I noticed about this, I want to speed that up so it gets to the top. Alright, so it splashes down in there. There's a delay. It stops you right there. And you can set that delay. And then as far as the splash, the maximum it goes, what was it, Joe? You said, did you say 20 miles an hour is the fastest it will drop? See, it should be going much faster than that on that drop, but it just wasn't. I must buy it because of the Infinity Coaster. That's pretty much the only reason why I bought the DLC. Oh, yeah, I mean, the Infinity Coaster's nice. I bought it for the flat rides. That's why I wanted it. No matter how high you make it, that's it. That's as fast as it goes, and that's the drop. Now, the other thing with this delay, let's say you don't want that delay right there on that drop. Well, doesn't matter because you can set it. It's set to 2 seconds right now. You can set it to 0. And then we will get it up here. Alright. And as soon as you get to that, the hold is it still holds it for like a second. See, so it's still kind of there. Dark ride water boat with extended sections for water scenes. Yep. Cons, holding brake. Drop top speed at 20. Makes sense because no seatbelts are locked. But yeah, so I mean, if you want to use this to create a dark ride, that's essentially what this is for. But still no giant flume, which is which kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping we could use that for it. And it has all the sections that the River Rapids has as well. So, well, not all the sections, but it has like the wide sections. And I found this to be really funny. You can do this. And then you can do it like that, and then back over, and then you can do it to the other side, and so forth and so forth. So it does have different sections you can use for, like, if you want to do like different scenes and stuff over here in the water, you can totally do that. Yeah, so if it's good for a small like boat ride, for small drops and stuff, but it's definitely not good for using for any kind of exciting things. And that's fine. It is what it is. It's exactly what they said it was and can't be used for anything else. So, if it had river rapids or a waterfall, that would be kind of cool. You could make your own, kind of river rapids and stuff. I saw a thing on the workshop where somebody made some cool stuff with some kind of ride. I thought was really neat. So that is all of the tracked rides. That's all of the coasters. So the next part is, let's go into the flat rides. I have about a few minutes left here to talk, and then I gotta start getting ready. So let's look at the Condors real quick. So we have two different versions of these. This is the variant ride. That's the one. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? There it is. Now, if you're not a theme park enthusiast and you don't know the difference between these two and what they are, these are the Condors, is what they're actually mostly referred to in parks. There's a few of them around the world, but I think, Joe, you were the one telling me that there's only one park that has the second generation. So we have the first generation, which is these. These are the ones that's been around forever. And then we have the second generation, which looks like they just took that one and just put the Frisbee seats on it. So, like the Screaminator has. And only one of these exists, right? And that's at Tivoli with Fata Morgana. That's the only ones. So, now, the thing with these is they are adjustable. So, we can make them really small. I'm going to change this song real quick. And we can make them really, well, not really tall, but you can make them somewhat tall. So finally, after all this time, one thing that I have been begging for is adjustable tower rides. And this is it. This is that we finally get it. Little too late. So that's the park with the small B&M floorless, right? Tivoli? I don't know. I don't know too much about Tivoli. No theme in case you want to make the Jurassic River ride. Yeah, you could also do Jurassic River on that. Hills are going in and out of the caves. Condor. Frisbee door. Yeah, Frisbee door. So these are the two of these. They're exactly the same except for this one has the Frisbees on it. These were in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and I hated them. I absolutely hated them in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and I never used them. I'm not a huge fan of this ride, but you know what? In Planet Coaster, I kind of like how they look. So I think I may actually end up using these a few times. I wasn't sure at first, but I think I'm definitely going to use one of them in Silverwood. But that's that. Let's see. Running out of time, so I got to hurry here. I'm going to save that one up. Oh, the whip. Let's look at the whip. The whip is really cool. I like the whip. The classic whip ride. Gotta love it. One of the things that I love that Frontier does is, especially when they don't do like extremely themed things. What's my alarm going off? It's time to make the donuts. Alright. So, one of the things I really love about Frontier's flat rides and stuff when they're not overly themed is how much detail they put into these. I'm going to pause the game real quick. So, it's literally got the chain that goes around it and turns it. So, you got the engine here that drives this. You got the gears going around it. You got the chain. And then you got it on these. And these little springs right here, I love these. These are really, really cool. So, I like that. This one seems to be based on the one at Kittywood because it looks exactly like the one at Kittywood with the numbers and stuff on the front of it. Not classic for me. I'm from Germany, so we don't have that stuff here. But it's made in Germany. Most of these flat rides and stuff are actually German made or European made in most cases. So, got things like Hus or Huss, depending on how you pronounce it, you know. Different manufacturers are almost all from Germany. But yeah, these are like all of the... I can't say much. I've never been to any European parks. I don't know too much about European parks other than certain ones. But I do know here in the U.S., these are classic rides that are just park staples, basically. Not every park has them, but I can guarantee almost every park has had one at some time, one time or another. And I like this. This is really neat. It's got some different sequences to it. Spin fast, that's about it. But so you can kind of just have it go kind of slow for more of a family kind of experience, or you can have it go really fast. It's a basic ride, extremely simple, but back in the days, in the 1930s or whatever this actually came out, this is about as simple as we get. So you had these, and then you had like the wooden coasters, and that was the fun day, and a carousel, and that was your day at a park. Maybe a giant slide. Surprised we didn't get a giant slide. Let's see, what else am I missing here? Where's it at? Where is... I don't see it. Where's it? Oh, there it is. Hiding on me. That happens a lot. I'm going to throw down like 3 of these here real quick. I'll pause it. Because they have different heights that you can do. Different adjustable heights. So we're going to do this one. If you go into sequence, sequences, we can do low. We can do a mid. And then this one's set to high, pretty sure. Yeah. So we'll start all of those up, and they'll all raise up at the same time. And then unpause the game. And I'm actually going to speed these up so these run. These are actually really pretty for being left over from World's Fair. So... The free flower? Nah, I'm saving that one for last. The whip was made by a guy from Germany. That's what I was thinking. So you have 3 different heights you can choose from. You can go high, mid, or low, depending on how you want to do it. You can also put paths under these if you wanted to. Like, it doesn't allow you to do it this way, but I could put like a path there and then kind of start it and then put it over here. And then I can just do this. I can move it out of the way. And then go back to my pass. And then I can take this and then move it over top of it. So, if you wanted your guests to like get their head, bop their heads on the gear like they're stormtroopers, you can totally do that. That is a thing. You like that ride in Gondola, Italy? That thing is crazy. It's a very pretty ride, especially the version of Efteling, and the version that they did here in this game it's really, really nice. It's a very beautiful ride. It's definitely left over. I feel like this was going to be in World's Fair, which explains why we didn't get that many rides in World's Fair, but they just maybe still needed to work on it, so instead they delayed it. That's kind of what I feel happened with this. It's a nice ride. I don't have any use for it, but it is a nice looking ride. This is probably one that if I ever use it, I'll use it like once, maybe. So, let's see here. Turn it down. All right, and the last flat ride in the game that we got in this set is... Where are you at, my little paratroopers? There you are. Free fire. I saved this one for last because this is my favorite. I love this. This is the one ride that I've been asking for forever. It does have different sequences on it. Spin, spin fast, spin high, and spin. So you can have it start out like that. And then, of course, it raises and does what it needs to do. The guy who made the Paratrooper came from the company that built the monster, Octopus and Spider. What is that? Everly or Emery? Something like that? Yes, I also think it's hard to get in your park if you don't have the World's Fair park. Yeah. I mean, you could work it in there, but... I mean, really, with the Asian theming, it doesn't fit a whole lot of different things. So, here we go. Finally got it to raise. And one of the things I love about this is how it swoops out right there on the side. I'm going to pause it real quick so I can show you. Like when they're up here on top, it's straight. But when they're going down, the different angles, I love that. It's literally works the way it's actually supposed to work, because it's got the little attachments here to the bars, and the bars swing out like that. And I love that. The thing I don't like about this ride is the color scheme. If I want to paint, say these, right? Say I wanted them white, it paints the chairs white too. Like, I feel like the bars should be black. I feel like this should be attached to a different color, and then the umbrella is a different color. So, you know, like, maybe whatever color I paint this would be the color I paint the chairs as well. And then have the umbrella tops a different color. I think they messed up on the color scheming on this, or they were in a rush or something, because that, I'm not a fan of that. I also wish we could do different colors on those as well. The platform being a colored option takes away from the scheme. Yeah, that's true too. Like, that should just be metal. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. So, like, why can I color that? But I don't know. I kind of feel like if we had the umbrella tops be like two colors, whatever color they could have went with this could have been like the color of the chairs, and then we could have different, like maybe two colored umbrellas, maybe like what, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, you know, kind of like that. But I mean, other than that, I'm happy we finally got it. I do think that maybe they released it too soon and wasn't thinking about the colors on this too well. But I'm happy with it. Oh, I didn't get to see the light scheme on this at night, because I said this would probably have a pretty light scheme. So, check that out. Okay, not as awesome as I expected that to be. That works, though. Sure, why not? Not too bad. Close but no cigar, exactly. I'll take it. You know, it's a paratrooper. I will take what I can get. The pagoda, you know, that the flying temple does look really good up there on top, and the condors have a nice lighting scheme on them too. All right, so that is kind of that. There's a few things that they fixed. We got some new audio functions as well. They added new music into the game for each of the rides and stuff, and you can use those in different stuff. And there is one more thing that they added as part of the free DLC. And if we go over here to scenery. So anybody out there who wants to do a Carol Winds recreation, you can totally do that now, because now we have a Carol Winds sign. So no matter what your park is called, if you want a sign for it, you can just call it Carowinds, and it'd be Carowinds. I mean, that's great for people who want to do Carowinds recreations. They did the same thing with Cedar Point, so no biggie there. There's also the Copperhead Strike sign as well, and it helps if I spell copper right. I do like the Copperhead Strike sign though, because it's got like this kind of bronze and kind of shimmering look to it, which I really like. It definitely looks metal, and I really like that. So raise that up a little bit there. That's fine. There, you can see the shimmer right there a little bit. See how that gold just kind of reflects right there? I like that a lot. There's another version of the Carol Winds too. There's a smaller one and a large one, which I can grab in there too. Yeah, there's this one, you know, if you want the big one, or you want the small one. There you go. Alright, so I do have to get going. So do you guys have any questions that I need to look at for you? Anything you want me to check and see if it's possible? I've got about 4 more minutes. And that's pretty much everything that's in the pack. So I think I covered all the rides. We got 4 flat rides, 3 tracked rides, 2 coasters. I'm surprised we only got 2 coasters, but it is what it is. Can you do curved lift hills on the spinning coaster? No, you can't. I checked that in the very beginning, so not an option. So you can't do, what is it, Euromir has the spinning one, I think, like that, the lift hill like that. So no curved lift hills on the spinning coaster. And you know what? Actually, let's check something here real quick. I want to check coasters. The SLV. I want to see what other options we have for this. Okay, so we still can't put any other trains onto that. This is something they changed. Some of you guys may not like this. So used to you could do a minimum of 1 car on a train. Now you can only do 2. You can't go less than 2. So they changed that, and that's for the worst. I don't know why they would change that. They did also lower the speed of this down to 4 miles an hour. So if you're doing the curved lift hills or whatever, you can go down to 4 miles an hour as it goes up the lift hill if you wanted to. That is an option. But you have to use at least 2 trains or 2 cars. So they changed that to be from 1 to 2, and they lowered the chain lift speed to 4 miles an hour if you wanted to go that low. So, that's pretty much it, guys. That's everything in the pack. You have to decide for yourself if it's worth it. There's not a whole lot in here other than just rides. So if you feel like the rides are worth $11, then by all means ride it. To me, or buy it. To me, yeah, I mean, I could totally use most of these. I'm not going to use this. I'm not probably going to use these either. But everything else I can probably find a use for. So I'm fairly happy with it. I mean, it's not Magnificent Rides. I really like Magnificent Rides. This one is just like, meh. I like this one about as much as I like Vintage, I would say. Thank you for showing off the capabilities of rides. Not a problem. I just kind of wanted to go a little bit in depth. I know there's lots of other YouTubers and stuff out there who got the pack early yesterday, and they went in depth on things. But let's face it, some of these YouTubers that they gave the pack to early don't know what things are. They're not theme park enthusiasts. Like, for example, well, we got this here, or this flying umbrella thing that I don't really know what this is based on, but, you know, it's a flying umbrella thingy. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know if I'll probably use this in a park, but I don't know what it's based on. It's based on a freaking paratrooper. All right, so yeah, that annoyed me. Yeah, so you know, instead of giving the pack to people who have no idea what any of these rides actually are or based on, maybe they need to start like rethinking their marketing. But all right, I'm gonna head out of here, guys. You have a great rest of the evening. I am going to take my shower and head into work for about 10 hours a day, and I will see you on my live stream on Monday. I also want to announce that I will be doing a giveaway for not just the DLC pack, but I am going to do a giveaway for the game plus the DLC. Not all of the DLC, but the game plus the new DLC, the classic DLC. And I will give you guys a heads up on that on my Twitter and in my Discord. So if you're not following me on Twitter, please make sure you go follow me on Twitter. I can't do it on YouTube because YouTube took away the ability to do contests on YouTube. So I can't tell you anything about that, but I can say follow me on Twitter, and in the next couple of days I will put up the link for that on how you can get in on winning that. It will be a Gleam thing, so that's going to be it, and yeah, I'm out of here. Thanks so much for watching, guys, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thanks for tuning in. If you're not already a subscriber, by the way, please do so. I definitely love all the subscribers I can get. So, thanks for watching. I'm out of here, guys.